Hii mambo ya Itumbi. Ay. Folks, the State House Digital Director, Dennis Itumbi, has opened for us an entirely new angle in the DP Ruto saga. It should be crystal clear that things are not what they seem to be, or at least they're not what most Kenyans thought they were. But I'll come to that in a moment. First of all, I need to remind all of us, and indeed many of us have already remembered, what date it is today. Today is the 5th of July, 2019. Exactly 50 years ago, on the streets of Nairobi, on what is today called Mboya Avenue, outside a chemist, the course of Kenyan history was changed forever. Gallant founding father of the nation, a great patriotic Kenyan, Thomas Joseph Odhiambo Mboya, mostly known simply as Tom Mboya, met his demise. He left planet Earth. He was brutally dispatched to meet his ancestors by 2 bullets fired at close range. To date, actually exactly 50 years later, that particular political assassination that changed Kenya for the worse still remains a complete mystery. Well, not for members of this channel, and especially those who have taken in my groundbreaking series, Tom Mboya. It was more than an assassination. Okay, and it's available to members of this channel. Towards the very end of this show tonight, you'll be able to see a link on the top left-hand corner of your screen if you've not taken it in yet. And you can click on it and go straight to it. Now, in that particular series, I reveal the person who pulled the trigger. Not the person who was actually convicted of the crime. And I also give a lot of other details that explains why this assassination took place. That lunchtime, on 5th July 1969, impunity won. And they have still been winning to date. And that is why Kenya is in the mess it is in today. It may interest you to know that it took me 15 years to put together that documentary. 15 years of false leads, dead ends, frustrations, etc., etc. But God is good, because finally I was able to solve that mystery. And the results are all in that documentary. Pretty fascinating if you've not caught it yet. Now, it gives me great joy that today there's been activity to mark this important day. There was a church service. People remember the day. It's on the front page of our newspapers. Excellent. Because when I started on this journey slightly over 15 years ago of solving this mystery, nobody remembered the date. Most of the mainstream media completely ignored this great Kenyan. There were articles once in a while, but too few. Today, the situation is very different. And this is very important for Kenya. Because when you lose your way, you need to go back. And go back to the last place you knew where you are. And in my view, the last place where Kenya knew where it was not very far from July 5th, 1969. I still vividly remember the words of my political lecturer as he remembered this day. And at the time, he was stationed outside Nairobi, and the news was all over the radio. And I remember he told me he met a senior fellow police officer, indeed who is still alive. And the comment of that colleague of his angered him, it saddened him. Because what the officer said, and I quote, "Oh, that was long overdue." What that officer was saying was the assassination of this great Kenyan was long overdue. Anyway, take in my series and you'll know what that officer meant. Okay? That is something nobody on this channel should miss. I highly recommend it. And of course, it's free. It's available on this channel. Over the last few months, since I completed that series, I believe about a year and a half ago, I have seen the eyes of people being opened. People who are analyzing politics in Kenya before in a very different way suddenly had their eyes opened. And they could see through the lies of politicians and see through the similarities in tricking the Kenyan people that have been in existence since the 60s. And the saddest thing is that the same old tricks seem to still be working with most of the Kenyan people. To sum it up, the trick is divide people along tribal lines and win elections. Simple. And you're not winning elections to improve the lives of Kenyans. No. You're winning elections to improve your bank account. To improve the lives of yourself, your wife, your children, and those close to you. Very sad. Anyway, back to Dennis Itumbi. Now, Dennis Itumbi was given a few moments in court to speak. And what he had to say, the first thing that most people missed is that Dennis revealed that he was interrogated by none other than the DCI himself. Oh yes, Bwana George Kinoti. And even if most Kenyans missed that, Bwana Itumbi himself must have realized the gravity of what he had just revealed. And he quickly peppered your story. What I mean is that he hurriedly moved on to the next point. Okay? Now usually that is a sign. If you're listening to somebody and they start a story and then they suddenly change the subject or they change the trajectory of what they're saying, you have to mark that. There's something there. The second thing Bwana Itumbi said was that the investigators or the people interrogating him wanted him to confess, wanted him to reveal the truth according to them, according to the investigators. Now, usually when you're called in for interrogation, and then you're being led in a certain direction, it usually means that that is not a real investigation. That is a political ploy. The whole idea is to achieve some certain political objectives. Now, for anybody who has been following this saga closely, that is hardly surprising. Why do I say that? Because even as the DP Ruto gang has said, the Tanga group, because I'm neutral in this, I listen to both sides. I investigate what both sides are saying, the direction they're taking, etc., etc. The Tanga group has said several times that the investigation should stop focusing on the letter and instead focus on the contents of the letter. A threat to a very important person in Kenya. Now, of course, I'm very much aware of the fact that some Kenyans loathe, despise, hate the deputy president so much, that they would not mind if he left this earth. My advice to such people is be careful, because there's only one person, only one power that makes that decision. Yes, you can plan evil for somebody. If God says no, it will not work. Okay? So my advice to those people is that the guy upstairs, you might attract his attention, so much so that he may start looking at your own departure date from this earth. Oh yes. In my view, even if you hate somebody so much, don't wish the worst for him. Don't wish death for them. It's wrong. Who are you to do that? And yet you're on the same path. We're all on the same path, headed in the same direction. That can only be a prerogative if you know and you're sure you're going to live forever yourself. Personally, I have said very clearly here that I will never in 100 years support the deputy president. But I will never also in 100 years wish him the worst. No. Why? Why should I? I just don't support him. And have my reasons. Yeah, those reasons, many of them I've stated on this channel several times. In my view, the law should apply to everybody equally. Yeah, because if somebody does something using the law against another Kenyan, even if you hate that Kenyan, be aware of the fact that the same tricks, the same strategy, the same laws can be used against you tomorrow. And that is why, in my view, what is being done to some Kenyans should be of great concern to all Kenyans, right across the political divide. Now, the really explosive thing Dennis Itumbi said in court was that he had evidence to prove that the contents of that letter are true. But according to Itumbi, investigators are not interested in that evidence, which is strange. Because it stands to reason, if you're investigating something, you want to know everything. You want to get to the bottom of everything. You want the evidence to take you in the right direction, not the other way around. You don't want to use the evidence to take it in the direction you want, which can only mean that you manufacture some more evidence and you skew the evidence to go in the direction you want. That is not an investigation. But there was something else Itumbi said in court. He said it very quickly, in passing, but I caught it, that completely shocked me. He said that his evidence will also show that somebody in government threatened the deputy president. Now, my dear brothers, my dear sisters, whatever side of the political divide you fall, is it right, is it legal in Kenya today for anybody to threaten anybody else? Is it? It doesn't matter if you don't like that person. Is it right to threaten them? Now, having said all this, the truth is, if I was to speak from the bottom of my heart, is that I don't like the Tanga group, personally. I don't like Dennis Itumbi. Not as a person, but I don't like what he has done in the past. There's a blogger called Kabs Nyarkisi, who is very happy at the arrest of Dennis Itumbi. And she has a good reason. In the run-up to the 2017 elections, and after, Itumbi was part of the team of 36 bloggers, and they monitored what other people were saying online, what other people, when other people were exercising their constitutional right. And as a result of this monitoring, Itumbi and his team got quite a number of people in trouble, especially Kabs. She got arrested, and she was arraigned in court, and I believe her case is still in court. I am sure for her, karma has caught up with Bwana Itumbi. Because what he plotted and organized for other people, the same is now happening to him. And so, I don't want anybody to think that Kumekucha is naive. I don't know what's happening. I don't know the people involved in this drama. I do. And indeed, I may know much more than what some people may think I know. But still, I always stand by my principle. Always do the right thing. Two wrongs do not make a right. It is super interesting that Bwana Itumbi has not yet been charged. And indeed, if he's allowed to present the evidence he claims he has, and if that evidence is viable, then it may be very difficult to charge him. Because one of the charges that could be preferred against him is spreading alarming information. One of those things that is still in our penal code that would probably find it very difficult to stand up to a new 2010 constitution. But my point is, that charge would be very difficult to stand if the contents of the so-called fake letter are proved to be accurate. There's actually evidence to back it. Now, humor me for a moment, and let us look at a theory. Theory, I have absolutely no evidence on this, but let's look at a possible theory. What if the Tanga group has created a trap for Team Keleweke, and Team Keleweke are walking right into that trap? What if that is the case? Just a theory. And it cannot be far-fetched, because it's well known that the deputy president is a schemer. He's a very crafty person. And I have a nagging feeling that the alleged evidence that Itumbi has, there are many other copies of it. And so, even if it is taken away from Bwana Itumbi and destroyed, there are still copies out there. In my view, this whole matter is being handled in the wrong way. In fact, it is being handled in such a way that if something small goes wrong, things could go very wrong for Team Kieleweke. And yet, Team Kieleweke has got the vast majority of Kenyans firmly behind them. They've got the support of the vast majority of Kenyans. And that is a fact. And maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I would not feel proud of my team winning if they used dirty tricks. I'm of the view that my team should play clean and win clean. Because if the other side is playing dirty and my team gets dragged into playing dirty and actually ends up winning by playing dirty, I would not be proud. And maybe I would even stop supporting my team. Because my team is doing things which prick my conscience. Let me just leave it there. I realize that a lot of this stuff is very sensitive, and that's why there's a weekly intelligence briefing that has a lot of information on this matter. And in case you haven't caught it, you can still catch it. Details should be on your screen on how you can quickly join the weekly intelligence briefs, and receive some highly sensitive information that will make this saga very clear, much clearer to you. Bottom line, I'm worried. This is not a popcorn moment. Really. I know people like popcorn nowadays a lot because of the drama. But this kind of drama is dangerous. This is not a popcorn moment. It would be a moment for a very stiff drink. For those who take hard drinks. I don't. For me, it is more a moment of heightened prayer to Almighty God for my dear country, Kenya. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.